Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Unknown Facts here. Get ready to have your minds blown because today we're diving into a world of unbelievable stories that sound totally fake. But guess what? They're 100% real. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that like button because you do not want to miss this. We're talking about wars against birds, exploding whales, and cities flooded with beer and molasses. You heard me right. We've got dancing plagues, cursed icebergs, and people surviving not one but two atomic bombs. So buckle up, grab your snacks, and get ready to question everything you thought you knew about history, because things are about to get wild. Alright, first up, we're heading down under to Australia, land of kangaroos, koalas, and giant flightless birds called emus. Now these emus were causing a bit of a ruckus back in 1932. They were destroying crops, tearing down fences, basically being a real pain for the farmers. So what did the Australian government decide to do? Did they try to relocate the emus? Set up some kind of bird deterrent? Nope, they declared war. You heard that right, war. They called in the army, armed with Lewis machine guns, and sent them out to fight the emus. Can you imagine the headlines? Australia declares war on emus? It sounds like something straight out of a cartoon, but this was serious business. The soldiers went into the field, ready for battle, and, well, let's just say things didn't exactly go as planned. The emus, those feathered fiends, were too quick, too agile. They dodged and weaved, avoiding the bullets like tiny feathered ninjas. The Great Emu War, as it came to be known, was a total disaster for the Australians. Next up, we're traveling to Florence, Oregon in 1970 for a story that's both hilarious and kinda gross. Picture this: a massive 45-foot-long sperm whale washes up on the beach. Now, dead whales are a pretty common occurrence on coastlines, but this one was about to become anything but ordinary. See, the authorities were faced with a bit of a dilemma. What do you do with a 45-foot, 8-ton rotting whale carcass? Burying it was out of the question. The beach wasn't stable enough. So, they decided to call in the experts, the demolition experts that is. Their brilliant plan? Blow it up. They figured that by using half a ton of dynamite, they could blast the whale into smaller, more manageable pieces that seagulls could eat. Sounds logical, right? Well, not so much. On November 12, 1970, a crowd gathered to witness this explosive event. Hold on to your hats because this next story is straight out of a horror movie. It's the summer of 1518 in Strasbourg, France, and a strange mania has gripped the city. People are dancing uncontrollably in the streets day and night for weeks on end. It all started with a single woman, Frau Trophea, who suddenly felt an irresistible urge to dance. She twirled and swayed in the street for hours, her movements becoming increasingly erratic. Soon others joined her, their bodies seemingly possessed by an unseen force. Within days, dozens of people were dancing in the streets, their faces contorted in a mixture of ecstasy and agony. They danced until their bodies gave out, collapsing from exhaustion, dehydration, and even heart attacks. Doctors were baffled. They couldn't find any logical explanation for this bizarre phenomenon. Some speculated it was caused by hot blood, others blamed it on demonic possession or astrological alignments. Chapter 4. The Man Who Survived Both Atomic Bombs. This next story is one of incredible resilience and a testament to the human will to survive. Meet Tsutomu Yamaguchi, an ordinary Japanese man who experienced the unimaginable twice. On August 6, 1945, Yamaguchi was on a business trip to Hiroshima when the first atomic bomb was dropped. He was just 2 miles from ground zero when the blinding flash and deafening roar of the explosion engulfed the city. Miraculously, he survived, though he suffered severe burns and temporary blindness. He spent the night in a bomb shelter, his body racked with pain and his mind reeling from the horrors he had witnessed. The next day, Yamaguchi, battered and bruised but determined to get home, boarded a train to Nagasaki. He arrived in his hometown on August 8th, exhausted and still bearing the wounds of the Hiroshima bombing. As he made his way through the city, he found himself caught in another blinding flash and deafening roar. The United States had dropped a second atomic bomb, this time on Nagasaki. Chapter 5. The Balloon Fest of 1986. Get ready to float away with this next story about a celebration gone hilariously wrong. It's 1986, and the city of Cleveland, Ohio is gearing up for a record-breaking event, the launch of 1.5 million balloons. They called it the Balloon Fest, and it was supposed to be a whimsical spectacle for the ages. The plan was simple: release a massive cloud of biodegradable latex balloons into the sky, creating a breathtaking visual display. They even built a giant structure resembling a postcard to contain the balloons before the big release. On that fateful day, September 27th, a massive crowd gathered in downtown Cleveland, their eyes fixed on the giant balloon-filled structure. The excitement was palpable as the countdown began. And then, it happened. With a mighty whoosh, the net holding the balloons was released, and millions of colorful orbs surged skyward, engulfing the city in a rainbow-colored canopy. Chapter 6. The London Beer Flood. Calling all beer lovers. This next story is a bittersweet tale of a boozy disaster that will have you crying into your pint. It's 1814, and we're in London, England, home of pubs, pints, and unfortunately, a brewing accident of epic proportions. At the heart of our story is the Moo & Company Brewery, known for its massive vats of fermenting beer. One of these vats, holding over 1 million liters of porter, stood a towering 22 feet tall. It was a brewing behemoth, just waiting for disaster to strike. And strike it did. On October 17, 1814, a faulty iron hoop on the giant vat snapped, setting off a chain reaction that would unleash a tidal wave of beer upon unsuspecting London. The vat crumbled, unleashing a torrent of porter that ripped through the brewery walls. The wave of beer, estimated to be over 323,000 gallons, surged through the streets of St. Hold on to your sweet tooth because this next story is a sticky situation of epic proportions. We're traveling back to Boston, Massachusetts in 1919, where a catastrophic event involving a massive tank of molasses would forever be etched in the city's history. Imagine a tank so large it dwarfed nearby buildings, holding over 2 million gallons of molasses. This sweet, viscous substance used for everything from rum production to industrial purposes was about to become a weapon of destruction. On January 15, 1919, the unthinkable happened. The tank, its rivets weakened by years of neglect and fluctuating temperatures, buckled under the immense pressure of the molasses. With a deafening roar, the tank ruptured, unleashing a wave of sticky brown goo upon the unsuspecting city. A wave of molasses, estimated to be 25 feet high and traveling at 35 miles per hour, surged through the streets of Boston's North End. Chapter 8. The Battle of Los Angeles. Hold on to your tinfoil hats because this next story is a real head-scratcher that some say involves UFOs. It's February 24, 1942, just a few months after the attack on Pearl Harbor, and tensions are running high in Los Angeles. The city was on edge, fearing another surprise attack. Radar operators reported unidentified objects approaching the California coastline, and the military went on high alert. Searchlights scanned the skies, their beams crisscrossing the darkness, searching for the unknown. As darkness fell, air raid sirens wailed, sending the city into a panic. People scrambled for cover, their hearts pounding in their chests. The order to fire was given, and the night sky erupted in a cacophony of anti-aircraft fire. Chapter 9. The Cursed Iceberg. Prepare for a chilling tale of maritime disaster and a legendary iceberg shrouded in mystery and superstition. It's April 14, 1912, and the RMS Titanic, the largest and most luxurious ship of its time, is making its maiden voyage across the Atlantic. The Titanic, dubbed unsinkable by its creators, was a marvel of engineering, a floating palace filled with opulent staterooms, grand dining saloons, and the latest technological advancements. But on that fateful night, its path would intersect with a formidable force of nature, an iceberg. The iceberg, a massive jagged chunk of ice, had broken away from a glacier in Greenland and was drifting southward, carried by currents and winds. It lurked silently in the frigid waters, a ghostly menace hidden in the darkness. At 11:40 p.m., the lookout on the Titanic's crow's nest spotted the iceberg looming large in the ship's path. Chapter 10. The Disappearance of the Sodder Children. Get ready for a haunting mystery that has baffled investigators for decades. It's Christmas Eve 1945, in the small town of Fayetteville, West Virginia. The Sodder family, George and Jenny Sodder and their 9 children, are asleep in their 2-story home, their dreams filled with visions of sugar plums and presents. As the night wore on, a fire broke out in the Sodder home, engulfing the house in flames. George and Jenny Sodder managed to escape the inferno, along with 4 of their children, but the fate of their other 5 children, Maurice, Martha, Louise, Jenny, and Betty, remains a mystery to this day. The fire, though devastating, was ruled accidental, caused by faulty wiring. But as the days turned into weeks, then months, then years, the Sodders couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. And there you have it, guys. 10 unbelievable stories that sound like they're straight out of a movie, but are actually 100% true. I mean, seriously? Exploding whales? Dancing plagues? It's enough to make you question everything. Which story blew your mind the most? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more mind-blowing content like this. I'm always on the hunt for the craziest, most unbelievable stories out there, so if you know of any, make sure to share them with me. Until next time, stay curious. Peace out.